Good afternoon, and thank you again for clicking on my channel. Today's episode is going to be about The Bear. It concluded its series finale. All 8 episodes of the series finale, actually, the whole 5 seasons, is on Hulu. And you can watch it on Disney Plus or just Hulu if you choose to. Whatever you choose. That's up to you. And if you are unfamiliar with this series, first of all, where have you been? That's what Rihanna would like to say. Where have you been? I'm not a singer, so I'm not gonna torture you guys with my my voice, okay? But if you are unfamiliar, it is um a psychological drama, like a workplace drama, comedy, like maybe like dramedy, whatever you may want to consider that. And the premise is a young chef from a fine dining world returns to Chicago to run his family's sandwich shop. And the the ironic part of this, and if you have watched it and if you've seen all of it, is that um Carmy, who is like the the main character, if you will, um he does such things, but yet he's not happy with what he's doing and chooses to basically resign, quit, if you will, um, being a chef. And they don't they don't say what he chooses to do. That's just like up in the air. just just one of those things, if you will. But yeah, I mean, first off, let me say this, and I want to tip my like invisible hat to those who are chefs. Um, I myself could and never would do that job. It's like one of those fast-paced work environments, and I don't like chaos. Okay, I don't like drama, and I just like no, I could never do that. And like I said, would never. So like with all the yelling and like yes chef and all that kind of shit, and I'm like no, no, don't even try signing me up. But nonetheless, I think it's a great show. It's very uh like it has your anxiety running because of like all the yelling and just shit happening all the time. It's crazy. It's a lot, and I'm just like, whoa. But in a way, I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for like as far as watching it, like it's a good show. But again, trying to live that life, no. Mm-mm. Again, I would never. So you have such talents such as Jeremy Allen White, who plays Carmen. I'm familiar with him from you know another chaotic show, which is Shameless. But he's been in a few other things as well. He's definitely got more acclaimed from this show. Like he's won awards. Um, Maybe that's I don't know if it's this show in particular, but he's definitely got more roles. Um, and then you have Ebon Moss um, Macarock, if that a Baccarock. I'm sure I murdered that name, but he plays Richard. He is the cousin to Carmen Ayo, which is wonderful talented actress. She plays Sydney. Lionel Boyce plays Marcus. Liza Zayas plays Tina. Abby Elliott, Natalie. Maddie Matheson plays Neil. Edwin Lee Gibson, Abraham. Corey Hendricks, Gary. Oliver Platt. I love that they have an old photo of Oliver Platt. Like they have yet to update a new photo of him. But he plays Uncle Jimmy in this show. Ricky Staffery. I don't know what it is about him, but I find him oddly and weirdly attractive. Like yeah, yeah. And if you know, you know. He plays Theodore. There are these other people, like I feel like they're like kind of new-ish people, like Jose um Cervantes. He plays Angel. Chris Witzke plays Pete, which he's not really new. He's the husband to Natalie in the show. Sarah Ramos plays Jessica. Molly Gordon Claire. Will Poultier. Luca. Polly James plays Chucky. And Renee. Oh, it's funny. He has the same name. Renee Gu plays Renee. But yeah, so I'm gonna get to the reviews in a moment. But so basically from season one all the way up to now, um, Carmen, who's like traveled the world, um, learned how to do fine dining, worked with some of the best chefs in the world, decided to come back and turn his family's sandwich shop, which I believe was called the Beef, excuse me, or Beef, something like that, into a fine dining establishment. And I don't know, I can't remember if they really wanted to do that, if they was like on board for it, because I was just like, why turn something that already works into something that you don't know if it's going to work? I've heard from so many people who work in restaurants, especially if you're building it from nothing. It's 9 times out of 10 it doesn't always work out. Um, Even businesses that has been around for years sometimes end up closing. Like we've had so many within this year that have been like chain restaurants closing um due to, I don't know. I mean, either it's lack of interest of people, not showing up anymore, maybe because there's just too many of them, um or bankruptcy. I don't know. I mean, there's so many things to put into that like you just don't know. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, there's just a lot of drama that's filled in with getting that started. Somehow there were monies in the cans of tomatoes. I think that's in one of the earlier seasons. And then that kind of like got that started into transforming the old restaurant into a newer restaurant. And then cut to now, what really from last season, that Carmen out of nowhere decides he doesn't want to do this anymore. And again, that's why I think that's so ironic that he chose to basically ruin what was good. It was just like a basic sandwich shop that was, always made money, people coming in and buying sandwiches, and turning it into a restaurant that he no longer wants to be a part of. And I get it to a certain degree, but like, why basically um, ruin or make changes to something that eventually you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know, but it's just it's one of those. And again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, but then also at the same time, I'm like, why? But like, if you're not happy, I get it. Like, move on, do something else. I think we all most of the time have that, like. But if you're like some invested in something, I don't know if now is the right time, especially in this economy of like price gouging of everything. Thank you. It's just even me, like I'm struggling right now trying to find a new job. The job market isn't even where it used to be. But I'm trying to keep optimistic and hoping that I land something sooner rather than later. But this is not about me. It's not about me. Um, but yes, so let's dive on into some of the reviews. Basically, this is going from like a strong 8 to almost a 10, like really ranking in like a 8.5. This first one comes in 2022, 9 out of 10, realistic drama. I worked in a family owned restaurant in Chicago for decades. The intensity among family members and the dialogue between workers is extremely realistic. All the characters in this series have depth, which makes it believable. The show has no characters or like cartoon like people for comic relief. Excellent show. Totally agree. And I forgot to mention one of the most recognized people is in this show. She's not like a main star or anything, but she plays the mother, and that's the beloved Jamie Lee Curtis. Can we give it up for her? Um, this next one also gives it a 9 out of 10. This comes in at January 14th of 2023. Dustin Hoffman Vibe. Uh, mm, maybe. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I've never watched Shameless, so I'm discovering Jeremy Allen White. I aim. Oh, reading is fundamental. Come on, Josh. Let's start from. Do this again. I am in awe. Okay. I haven't seen that true vibe since early Dustin Hoffman Kramer versus Kramer. The show is so raw and believable that you feel like a voyeur looking in a neighborhood restaurant and its staff. Just a slice of real life delivered by a wonderful ensemble. I was late to the party, but I'm happy I finally joined in. It's a gem, a breath of fresh air. This era of big budget series or predictable cop shows. And the chaotic environment is spot on. Having friends in the restaurant business, the chaos is real. Long live the bear. Okay. This next one, this is also coming in June 25th of 2022. 8 out of 10, beautiful television. Great acting, writing, directing. Shots and scenes are artful and not pretentious. Soundtrack choice is excellent. Have worked in a kitchen and a fan of cooking slash food shows. Bourdain, this is well conceived masterpiece. Sure, the episodes are short and only 8 episodes, but if that was its first and only season, it was short and sweet. And even the little bit of filler made sense. A nice tight package, a must watch. Um, I will say, like if you've watched these shows with the ridiculous ads that they have with, like, let's just say you have regular Hulu, it makes the episodes seem longer, because of those ads. But if you have um, like Disney Plus Hulu, and you paying that extra, that way you don't have to watch the the ads. They are very short. So I get it. But like this last season, it's 8 episodes, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of hate like this new era of television in a way of shortening episodes. Like a lot of shows these days only have 8 episodes. When back in the day, I'm I always feel old when I say back in the day. It used to be like 20 episodes or like 22, something like that. And like you really feel like you're getting a good season worth of shows, you know. But we're not back in the 90s, so um this one is a 10 out of 10, and this is from in 2022, and they're saying this at that time. I would like a season 2 now, like stat basically. This is the first review I have ever written on IMDb. That is how impactful this show was on me. I completely forgot I was watching actors perform and genuinely felt as though I was watching real people go through real life drama and comedy. Jeremy Allen White, who plays Carmi, and who plays Sydney, were spectacular. Don't get me wrong, the entire cast was phenomenal, but those two had me glued to the screen. I finished this entire show in one day and I regret nothing. This series draws you in with the opening reminiscent of the movie Waiting, and after introducing heavy topics like suicide, addiction, alcoholism, um, family stressors, battles with coworkers, trauma, and overall feeling of existential dread, the series ends and you just sit there and say, "Wow. I am so happy I found this show. I'm going to tell everyone I see to watch this. Everyone needs to watch this." Hard 10 out of 10. Um yeah, totally agree with that one as well. And I know this show probably gets a lot of hate as well. Um, I think for me that if I was to ever give it any hate, it's because it makes me so stressed out. I'm like my anxiety, like I'm like no, I I'm just like I tense up as I'm watching this show, especially with all the yelling and yes chef and everything just like at a high just you're just like, oh, I need to, like, you need something after you're watching it to calm yourself down. But good show nonetheless. Last but not least, this is an 8 out of 10, coming in at July 18th, one day shy from my birthday, um, in 2023. Nominated for so many awards for a reason. The Bear absolutely lives up to all the hype, and it's been getting. Uh, Normally, this isn't a show that would interest me, but after reading all the great reviews and seeing how it's on every best show of the year I've seen so far, I thought I'd give it a go. Like, why not, right? This has not only met my expectations, but surprised them in every way. This has been nominated for every award possible and deservingly so. I am especially glad for Jeremy Allen White since I'm a big Shameless fan. He was fantastic in this and leads a great cast. I could not stop watching this. I binged the entire first two seasons over the course of a few days and was disappointed when it was over. There's a reason this show was nominated for so many awards. Yeah, also on that, totally agree. Um, and I'm like one of those people, like if something is so like overly hyped, um, like I'll watch it, but I'm also like, is it really worth the hype, right? You know? And most shows, I will say, are, yes, typically worth the hype. There's one show that I have not watched yet, but people keep, talking about it, which is Ted Lasso. Um, but I don't know, maybe I'll get into that one. But yeah, um, the way this show ended, it ended on a great note. Um, it and I think this is probably like like a great way to show people how to end a show. It was heartfelt. It was actually showing that um, when family comes together and works together, and I'm not saying just blood related family, I'm talking about like family you've even chosen that when you do come together in the end, it will all be okay. It'll be all worthwhile. And it ends up working out in the end. And it was um, also showing that the restaurant it had its moments of complete chaos, especially when this show opened up this season. It was raining, like severely raining, flooding even, pipes bursting. Then the restaurant getting a little flooded, like in the kitchen. A guy falling through the roof, which was one of the workers. Why he was on top of the roof, fell through the ceiling. I don't know, but that happened. Um, uh, but again, it shows that when it pour, like literally, literally when it pours, it rain. I'm sorry, when it rains, it pours, and that's like one of those, commonly used phrases. But literally, when it rains, it pours. Um, Sometimes you still have to get through the day, and when people do come together and showing you that, in the end, it's gonna be all right, and it ended up like working so smoothly. Like you just have to get your team together and be organized. Yeah, eventually, yes, it will work out. It will work out. And sometimes that's just like a thing like you have to tell yourself. Like even if like looking in the mirror, I was like, You know what? I got this. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. Um, it had its moments where it was like emotional. Um, um, stressful moments, obviously, and just moments where you're just like, well, one moment in particular where like when again like when they all came together and people were like really happy with like the food and like the overall environment of the restaurant. Like people was like so happy, and then I'm just like, yes, that's what happens when you work together as a team. And yeah, the whole ensemble, wonderful. Like chef's kiss, mwah, mwah, wonderful. I mean, all good things must come to an end. That's just like how it happens, how life works out. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wish nothing but love for this cast and the best as well. Um, I don't know. Hopefully, something great for each of them will come soon, sooner than later. Um, let's see. For my ranking of this show, I think I'd give it like a solid 9. A solid 9. I don't want to give it a 10 because of how it makes my anxiety rise. And if it wasn't for that, solid 10, solid 10. But it's just like that tension build up. I'm just like, mm-mm. I'm literally like holding my chest as I'm watching it. I'm like, no, no. But again, overall, great show, great series, great ending. Um, and it seemed like everybody got a happy ending. Seems like. I mean, I, I was gonna say. With that being said, like we don't really know like the success of like what the restaurant will be like, but they did say like if they keep going the way they were, it will be okay. It will be all right. Um, but yeah, um, that is all I have as far as that. If you've seen this show, even you've seen it completely, um, drop some comments. Drop it low. And if for some whatever reason you've never seen the show and you plan on it, also let me know. Let me know. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful weekend. My skin is almost getting back to normality, by the way, with the fucking sunburn that I've had, and with like my skin peeling, it gets in my hair and makes it seem like I got fucking dandruff, and I'm like, no, it's not what it is. But like, I don't know if you can see my skin. Yeah, it's gross. But it was one of those random moments where like I went to the pool with one of my friends, and again, random. That's what the fucking word means, random. Like you're not expecting to do these things, and so I didn't come prepared to have any type of sunscreen, and wasn't expecting to be out there as long as I did, or was, um and got fucking toasted. Not a good kind of toasted, but I got toasted. um but yeah, I've been like scratching because it makes me itch. But anyway, that's a little TMI and FYI. But yeah, anyway, subscribe if you haven't already, and give a little like if you choose to. Okay? All right, smooches. Mwah. Bye.